Welcome back, everybody, to the Fighting for Freedom podcast. I just want to say thank you to everybody for all your love and support. You guys have helped this channel grow dramatically. If you could please, at this time, drop us a like, comment, subscribe, share our podcast, turn on those bell notifications, and leave us a rating and good review. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Before we get into the episode, I just want to say that the views presented are those of the speaker, and the guest do not necessarily represent the views of the Department of Defense or its components. Neither the Department of Defense or its components bears any responsibility for the accuracy, legality, or content of the views discussed on this podcast. Now, without further ado, let's get into this.
Fighting for freedom, one podcast at a time.
Hello, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode on the pod. Today I'm joined by a special guest, Tristan Heeb. Tristan, how you doing today?
Good. How are you, buddy? Long time no see.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. It's good to see you. Good to see you. I'm doing all
Yeah.
right. So, thank you for your time. Thank you for all your support, and thank you for wanting to be a guest on my podcast, Fighting for Freedom. We kind of just like to go about your military career and, what brought you to where you are today.
Nice.
So, where are you from? First things first,
Yeah. Well, first off, I want to start. Thanks for having me on here. It's an honor to be with one of the founding fathers of Dirtbag Sailors. Started that in 2017, huh? So I'm from not really a small town, but I'm from Cottage Grove, Minnesota. Was born and raised here. Lived here my entire life. Back here now.
Okay.
Live here with my family. Move back in home.
All right. So, what persuaded you to want to join the military? Were you one of those that joined right out of high school, or did you kind of get lost in the sauce for a little bit and you were like, "Fuck it"?
I joined right out of high school. My grades weren't that great in high school. Graduated with a 2.4. And my dad pretty much gave me three options. He said, option one, you go to college. I applied to three, got declined at all three. Or you get a job and start paying rent. I was working at a pizzeria, flipping dough. That wasn't enough to pay rent.
Yeah.
Or option number three was join the military, because he's been in the Navy for 35 years.
So your father has an impact on you being in the military? What is that relationship like?
Absolutely. Our relationship growing up was, your average father and son relationship. He wanted the best for me, wasn't really putting out, and I thought, I'd make him proud and join the military, and I ended up joining the Navy, same branch he's in, and got into a small select group called the Seabees, which he's been in since the beginning of time. So.
Oh, really? Oh, that's nice. So you guys share that similarity in a sense, huh?
Yeah, he actually put in a good word when I was in my A school in Gulfport, Mississippi, and got me stationed in Port Hueneme, California, where he was at the time. So I could
Nice.
check in with him every now and then, go out to lunch, hang out.
Little Hollywood bee. Yes, sir. Yeah. California was nice, huh?
It was.
So
I love the weather, man. I love the weather. That's probably the best part about California. It probably rained on us 5 times in 5.5 years we were there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you join the military, you go to A school, your dad puts in the good word, you end up going to California. California's beautiful. Now, you were with your command. Did your command deploy anywhere?
Yeah, I got to my command December 27th of 2017, and I think we deployed 2 months after I joined that command. We went out to Okinawa, Japan.
How was that?
That was fun. I was only there for about 3 months, and I got a call from God, what was this? From Chief Molina. God, I haven't said that name in years, man. He called me up. Oh, he's Filipino. He said, "Hey, Tristan, we're going to the Philippines." That's
You
keyword.
you go where?
I'm going to the Philippines.
The Philippines.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
And I kid you not, man, I was sitting there and I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess when am I going?" He goes, "Pack your shit. You leave tomorrow at 8:00 in the morning." And this was at like 6:00 at night. I was like, "Oh, all right."
Dude, I'm drunk. Like, we got PT tomorrow. I started drinking already.
Yeah. That was a crazy experience in itself. I mean, getting lucky enough to get selected to go on a detachment, let alone the Philippines, probably one of the most beautiful countries I've ever been to, ever.
Yeah. I myself there was twice, and
Pretty cool.
wow, some of the greatest times of my life. It's like Christmas every day, just with
Shout
flip
out-
flops.
Shout out Dylan Tattoo. Shout
Dylan
out
Tattoo,
Chico.
baby.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Shout out Chico. Shout out Little Dylan.
Oh, if you've
Shout out
been to the
Javette. Shout out Carlo. Shout out Harry.
Philippines, you know exactly what we're talking about.
Yep. Dylan Tattoo, baby. That's if you go to the Philippines and you don't go to Dylan Tattoo, that's like going to an aquarium and like looking for like the zebras. It's just why?
It's like going to Bass Pro Shop and actually fishing in their tank. Just frowned upon.
Yeah, but those videos crack me up, bro.
Oh,
I watch those videos online. The dude's like diving in and going for a swim, and I'm like, damn, that looks fun.
You're not supposed to do it though.
Yeah, no. All right, so that was your first deployment, and you had others, correct?
Yeah. Second deployment I went on, we went to the Marshall Islands, which I've never heard of that place in my life until I got selected to go there. And I guess when you get ready to go on a deployment to a country you've never been to, you sit at home and do some research and figure out, what am I going to do there? What's going on?
Yeah, of course.
If you're a history buff, you probably know about the Marshall Islands. There's a lot of history there with the U.S. and actually fun little fact. There's an island there called the Bikini Atoll, and that is where SpongeBob is based out of.
So did you meet SpongeBob? How was he in person?
Nah, but if you ever watch
No, you never
SpongeBob,
met him.
don't completely quote me on this because I don't want to say nothing wrong. But I know for a fact in SpongeBob, when they have that scene where they drop the nuke and it's that big cake bomb, that was actually an atomic bomb that the U.S. tested on the Bikini Atoll. And the reason why the fish are talking and a sponge is alive and he's living under the sea is because of all the nuclear waste that got dumped into the Marshall Islands. And that's why the fish talk. Pretty cool.
Hey, if you didn't know that, join the club.
If you don't know, now you know.
All right, so Marshall Islands, that sounds maybe a happy medium, but from my experiences and my past, when you're on a small island like that, there's only two things that are going to happen. One, you're going to get drunk every day, and two, you're going to get in trouble eventually. Did you get in trouble at all out there?
Yeah, I got in trouble the first
Strike
time.
it for the record.
First time I went to the Marshall Islands, I got in some trouble. I mean, I wouldn't say trouble, but we're going to lead up to this is the reason why I got out of the military. So I got in trouble, right? I stayed out past curfew as a full-grown adult. And I missed PT in the morning. I didn't wake up on time. And I was sleeping in somebody else's room on the island.
Oh. What's his name?
We're not going to disclose that information.
By the way, it's a her.
Yeah. But no. And at the time, I was I was doing actually really good. As much shit as I talk about the military, I was actually really good at my job, at being a builder. Construction has always kind of been my passion. So
Yeah.
luckily, my skill set and mindset and how good I was doing kind of got me out of trouble a little bit. I more so got a slap on the wrist. But
Okay.
it was pretty shitty. I mean, if you think about it, being a full-grown adult and getting grounded for breaking curfew as you're in the military is kind of ridiculous. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I get it. It's kind of understandable. You break rules, you got to pay the consequences. But
the rules
Yeah,
were
yeah.
set in stone. I knew them, but you do what you got to do.
rules are meant to be bent, not broken. And I guess you broke that one.
Well, yeah,
It is
I
what
think-
it is.
Yeah.
And how was your punishment for that? Was it like bad, or was it just like
I
on the
got
wrist
what's
and
called
see you later?
EMI, so it's extra military instruction. I couldn't go out, I couldn't do anything, and I had to have escorts to go to get lunch and dinner and breakfast, and I had to sit outside my room in full uniform for 2 weeks and sign people in and sign people back out, and pretty much sit there like a dumbass,
Well, I bet you learned your lesson, huh?
No, I actually did it all over again the second time I went to the Marshall Islands.
Uh-oh, everyone. If you're listening on your car radio, turn it up, because it's about to get a little spicy. What do we got?
I ended up doing pretty much the same thing out in the Marshall Islands. I got lucky enough to go back again, and there was this big pirate party. It's called Swashbucklers that they have every year, and we were lucky enough to be there during that time.
Okay.
And I went out by myself, which is the first rule I broke. You have to have a non-drinking peer leader signed out with you if you plan on
Yeah.
drinking.
Mhm.
I went out. I polished a whole bottle of JMO,
Oh,
and I stayed out past curfew. That's rule number 2. I missed PT again. That was rule number 3. And I missed the boat ride to work again.
you're really good at not doing things right.
Yeah, I was, and again, at the same time, I was doing phenomenal. But when I finally came to and sobered up, they're like, really? Hebe? Again? And I'm like,
Yeah.
nah,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Kind of the tip of the iceberg, the moral of the reason why I got in trouble, when I was out at this party, I bumped into the Army officer, the commanding officer of the base, and we did not get along. We did not like each other. I ran into him, and I was dressed up like a pirate, and he came up to me and he's like, "Hey, I like your costume, bro." And I was hammered. I looked over at him, and he's wearing this blue striped shirt, like the classic little pirate thing.
Yeah, some Gilligan's Island shit.
Yeah. I looked at him, and I said, "Where'd you get that inspiration? Boy in the striped pajamas?" So, with that being said, if you are listening and you are in the military, you don't say off-color things to the commanding officer.
Nope.
You get in trouble.
Nope.
And I started chirping him, and all of a sudden his wife gets involved. She decides to start saying things to me, and she's a dependa, right?
Mm-hmm.
She has no power on that base, no authority, no nothing. She
Yeah,
starts
just-
yelling at me, whatever. I look at her, and I look back over at him. I said, "You need to get your fucking dependa wife over here and tell her to shut the fuck up." That's when I got food.
Yeah, that's
So,
when.
man, sergeant major of that base grabbed me by the back of the neck and just whipped me over the side. And I still miss PT. They couldn't find me. After all that had happened, later that morning, the commanding officer and the command sergeant major came to our chain of command and told them exactly what I had done, even though I was already in trouble. So that was like the little tip of the iceberg right there on why I didn't get a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Ended up getting put on restriction, which is, in civilian terms, is being grounded.
Yep.
They took my rank away. I got busted down. They took my cell phone.
They take your pay too, huh?
And they take my pay.
Yeah.
And all this was over Christmas time, so I couldn't even call my family or nothing over Christmas. I think
I bet your dad being military, and he found out somehow, and then he kind of knew. He was like, I haven't heard from Tristan.
Yeah.
Why?
So that's kind of the brutal part of my dad being who he is. He's very high up in the Seabees. He's very well known by just about every chief and above. While I was on
restriction. It's a blessing and a sin.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a sin, but I got a lot of shit being in, and everyone's like, "Oh, your dad," or "Who's your dad?" or "You only got this because of your dad." But
yeah, but you kind of want to be separated from that in a sense, where you're like, he's one person, I'm one person, so like,
yeah. And the shit that used to piss me off was, "Damn, really? What do you think your dad would think?" And I'd be like, "Well, fuck you. My dad's my dad, but I'm me. Like, let me do my own thing. I don't give a fuck." Right?
Yeah, people get involved when you bring family into the mix, but it's okay if your family is in the military as well, which I never really grasped that, but it is what it is.
So kind of the funny, and that me getting in trouble that time, that was like I'm done. I'm not doing this shit no more. I don't get respected as an adult. I don't get treated as an adult. And I got out when that home port we got back, and they do everything in their power to try to keep you in, But I just made up my mind. I was like, this is not something I foresee myself doing. My dad was a little disappointed. He wanted to see me stay in and make it a career. But, if you're in the military, you don't get good pay, right? You have to either get married legitimately or fake or pick up rank, which isn't necessarily the easiest thing. It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Right as I got out in October. I think my first week back home, I got a letter in the mail, and I'm like, oh, sweet, my DD-214. Nope, found out I picked back rank. I got picked back up. It was my congratulations on being an E4 again. I was like, don't fucking care.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it.
No problem.
So, I mean, in a sense, kind of like an inspiration, because I bet there's a lot of people listening, a lot of people out there who are like kind of in your shoes, where maybe they had some hiccups or maybe they didn't, but they're just like afraid to get out, and they're afraid of what's going to happen, of how they're going to make their money, how they're going to get their health insurance. I can go on and on and on, but I guess you can be a great example of it's going to be okay. Like Rome wasn't built in a day. We've all heard that expression, and I guess you're Rome in this sense because you're doing pretty good now, correct?
Yeah, I'm doing actually way better than I thought. It was knowing that I wanted to get out. That's all that was on my mind. I never, looking back at it, I should have pre-planned a little better. I kind of got lucky in a sense with my job now, but I think if anything, the military needs to do a better job on prepping their people to get out.
Yeah, they offer you like a 3-day or like a 5-day long like TAP class, and no one ever listens to like a military. They're like, just click the PowerPoint so we can go.
You're ready. You're ready to get out.
Yeah, you're ready to get out. Okay. Is there any resources that the military offers to help you get a job on your way out the door?
Yeah, I kind of brain dumped all the terminology and all that crap, but they do have good resources. I think they need to do better at helping individuals one-on-one. I think we had a buddy. God, I don't remember his name. He did a program where he got to get out 6 months early.
Oh, that's the Skill Bridge program.
Skill Bridge. He was able. Cooking was his passion, and he was a phenomenal cook. And he ended up doing a Skill Bridge program where they paid for him to go do whatever he had to do to become a cook, and then he got to be an intern, unpaid intern at a cooking position. And I mean, they do have the
it's out there. You just got to search for it.
you gotta want it, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. I
I
get
think
it.
I think what helped me out to where I am right now is I hit rock bottom. Um, when I drove from California back up to Minnesota, when I pulled into my driveway here, I had $200 to my name and $10,000 in debt. So it was at that point I knew, hey, it's time to unfuck your shit, man. You got to get a
Yeah.
real job. I wasn't going back to fucking Carboni's, going to flip pizzas. I wasn't gonna go cook back again at fucking Chipotle. You know.
Yeah, I get you. So what are you doing now?
Um,
Where did your path take you?
so that goes back to construction, to something I've always had an eye for and I always kind of been good at and liked.
Good, good.
Um, I applied to a company called Stencil Group, and I'm now a
Sounds easy.
superintendent for a commercial construction company. So I manage and build apartment complexes throughout the Midwest here in Minnesota. Um,
Good for you, man. That's
it's
a good story.
it's a lot. I actually really enjoy it. It's a little stressful. You know, you have to know everybody's job. You have to know every trade's job. Not exactly how they do it, but what they need to do.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Like they'll get shit done. They just need you to get them materials and get them prints, and there's yeah. Okay.
it's a big role to play, especially at my age. You know, it's harder for those other trade members to look at a 24-year-old and be like, "The hell do you know, man? Don't tell
Yeah.
me how to do my job."
Yeah.
But no, it's great. I absolutely love it. Trying to build a house soon and get some land. So I have a buddy. Shout out Hunter Booth. He's picked me up from rock bottom and kind of made me the person I am today, and kind of changed my mind on looking at everything. I do mowing for him. He got passed down a commercial mowing company. Even though I make good money
Nice.
at my day job, I do mowing after work just for some extra pocket change, because I don't ever want to be in that scenario I was again, where I had $200 in my name and I couldn't
Yeah.
pay for anything. So big shout out him. He's been my brother through just about every step of this path on becoming a normal human being and becoming a civilian.
Hey, Hunter, if you're listening, man, thank you for helping out a real one. You have his business. You want to give a shout out to his business?
Oh yeah, big shout out. He's got an outdoor waterfall company called Folded Outdoors.
Hold it outdoors. All right.
Yeah, it's go check out foldedoutdoors.com or their Instagram if you enjoy waterfowl hunting. I've never duck hunted in my life, and
Only on TV, huh?
yeah, Duck Dynasty, Uncle Si.
Yeah, gotta love
But
him.
no, he's already got me addicted to the sport before I've even ever shot a bird. I mean, I'm super excited. We're building kayaks in his garage and putting duck blinds around them. And we plan on roughing it out and floating out on the water and hopefully folding some birds.
Damn, I never heard of a New Yorker doing any of that. But if you got room in the boat, kayak, or whatever the hell it's called, hit me up.
Yeah,
I'm down to shoot some shit. But I ain't cooking it. I don't know how to cook duck or whatever.
So actually, I do want to put this out. We don't just hunt for fun. We don't just kill them and leave them. They actually
No, you hunt them for
Yeah.
harvesting.
They cook them and clean them. He's big on wildlife and is very knowledgeable on DNR rules and regulations. And
Yeah, that is a big thing to follow, and especially I don't think you even had to like really touch on that. I'm pretty sure everybody can understand that when you do this for a hobby, it's not only a hobby, it's kind of a lifestyle. Like this is what you do to feed your family, feed yourself, and also it's one of those things that you can't just go to Walmart and go buy, like it's good quality food, and it's an art to what these people do, to like how they cook and prepare everything. I think it's wicked. Would I do it? No, but I think it's wicked.
yeah.
Dope,
Good.
man. That's great. So I'm glad you got to meet some, cool people while you were in to kind of help mentor you and maybe help you out a little bit. But then when you got out and you were kind of like, no pun intended, a lost duck, you had this guy Hunter come and help you out. That's great. That's great. How long you been doing your construction job for?
I started the Monday after Thanksgiving of tw- so not even a year yet. Not
Oh
even,
wow. I mean that's a good time though. Go around the table. What are you thankful for? You know.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right. I do want to touch on some little questions that I have. Just broad questions of everything we kind of talked about and everything that's happened in your life so far. Can you give me one example of your most memorable military experience?
Oh, God. I mean,
Yeah.
there's absolutely so many. Um,
I mean, if you got a couple, be my guest. You know,
well, I
but
mean,
the one that is like kind of impacted you the most, whether it was a good impact or a bad impact, doesn't matter.
so when I got in trouble the second time, the our commanding officer at my captain's mass told me, you know what, there's a lot of good BUs, which is a builder, it's a construction worker, and he said there's a lot of good BUs in this command, and you're just not one of them.
Hmm.
That, as much as I didn't care, that one really made me sit back and be like, I'm gonna show you, bro. All
Yeah, that
right,
one kind of stuck the most.
I'll fucking show you.
Yeah.
So with that being said, as you move up in the ranks in the CBs, you become a job supervisor. You
Yeah.
become a project soup. You are the one who's leading the project, and they're building little 2 classroom schools all around and doing humanitarian work. But now I'm supervising a 106 unit apartment complex in southern Minnesota. I'm doing 40 times his fucking work, and I know his
It,
job
it
better
is
than
possible.
he knows his job. So
It's
that
possible.
shout out that D bag for telling me that sentence, giving me that phrase, because I don't think I'd be here right now doing
Yeah.
what I am. That one
Good for
really
you, man.
affected me. Um, I guess I could talk on this podcast for 10 hours about fun experiences and life stories and stuff
Yep.
with the military, but I guess we'll go back to kind of when we first kind of met each other in ECS, Expeditionary Combat School down in Gulfport. That was one of the first times we were ever able to be free, and by
Yep.
free I mean go out and do what we want. And
Yep.
I
Be
met
a rebel.
Vinny here, and we kind of had a little friend group going there, and we ended up driving all the way to Panama City, Florida for spring break. And
Yeah.
that's when I kind of realized, like, hey, this ain't too bad. I get to travel around and kind of do whatever I want. And then we
Yep. I remember that. I also remember stopping you from making a very bad situation. Who knows how this career for you would have went, but we were on the beach and we were hammered the day before, and then we got hammered at the beach, and you were like, I have a great idea. And I was like, what's your idea? And you were like, I'm gonna go rent a moped. And I was like, the fuck you are.
yeah,
Yeah, but see, my point is that little experience that we had and that little like clip we had in life, like you have changed so much from that person you were then, the fun and you got it all out of your system, to who you are now, where you're like literally building houses for people. Like that's
yeah.
crazy.
I mean, I guess if you knew me when I was in the military, I was wild, bro. I
Yeah,
was the guy, if you pulled out your video or your camera or you pulled out started recording me, I was doing something stupid that white people did. I was gonna do
yeah,
something dumb. Now it's kind of like I don't ever want to have $200 in my bank account again, ever.
yeah.
It's time to
No,
it's time to grow up. It's time to
I
figure it
I
out.
agree. I agree. Now, Tristan, I want to ask you, what do you think is one of the most misunderstood things about the military?
Um, ooh, that's a tough one, but I guess the military isn't all war, killing, taking over countries, as I guess the politicians put it or perceive it as to the general public who don't know anything about it, and I think a perfect example of that is the Seabees. What we did, we would go to countries and do humanitarian work. We would build schools and medical facilities for countries in need and kind of build a whatever the hell that word is, but to build a good, strong relationship through these countries that we got blessed to go visit and meet people.
Yeah.
There is so many people I met in different countries that I will never forget till this day. They've had a huge impact on who I am.
They tattooed you. You literally cannot forget them.
No. But, no, it's not all bad. We do good things. And I guess as much crap as I talk about the military, I would never in a million years change the path that I took.
Nice.
It was an amazing experience. There were a lot of ups and downs, but if I never would have done it, I don't think I'd be where I am right now.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for the people who are listening who aren't in the military but are thinking about joining the military?
Do your research.
Yeah, big one.
Don't go in blind. I
hear that a lot.
As a matter of fact, with my dad being who he is, I went in completely blind. I had no idea what I was getting into or what I was going to do. I just said, sign me up.
Me too. Yeah. Came home, I was like, Ma, look. He was like, what? I was like, yeah. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. No,
I'm going to go
figure out what you actually want to do. And, don't let those recruiters persuade you into choosing the wrong career path in the military. If you want to actually make it a legitimate career, I would highly suggest doing schooling first and maybe becoming an officer.
That's always a good route.
If I was to do it all over again, I think that'd be the route I would want to go. But no, just know what you're getting yourself into and prepare yourself for that, evolution. And it's going to be minimum of 4 years of your life. So
yeah. So a 4-year vacation.
Yeah, pretty much.
Depending how you look at it.
Yeah, or getting grounded like you're back at home. Losing paycheck.
Yeah. Well, all right, Tristan. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for your input. Thank you for your stories, man. It was great talking to you. It was great catching up, and I'm glad to see that, you turned your life around from $200 to who knows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Honestly, it's great to see you. I'm kind of starstruck right now. It's good good to reminisce with a friend.
Absolutely, man. It's good seeing you, man. I want to say shout out Dirtbag Sailors. You know who you are. The few, the proud, the douchebags.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you guys on the next pod.